I don't like calling an interview with a guest an interview. It should be really called a conversation because in the end, this is your goal, to appear as if you're having a great conversation with a guest that's informative and entertaining. So how do we accomplish that? Well, let's start with the most important part, and that is your research. To come across like a conversation, you need to know as much about that person as you can, so you're armed and prepared to go in whatever direction the conversation takes you. But just know that, in some cases, it's also okay to not know something. Maybe the guest reveals something and, that's fine, even if you already, in fact, do know and you react surprised, that's fine, as long as it's a genuine reaction. French women do not shave their armpits. Is this true, Stephanie Shostak? There's proof. That is a myth.
We have learned.
Debunked. It's hard because you need to ride the line between not sounding too much like a know-it-all and genuinely listening and reacting to what information they're giving. So, do your research. Start with Wikipedia, that's fine, but then dig deeper. Search all sorts of keywords that relate to that person. Anything to do with that person, just search it. A little research. Al Roker once said that you are one good-looking sweet piece of man candy. What is your relationship with Al? I know he's been sort of a mentor to you.
He's like a second father.
Now, once you're done with your research, you can actually start to craft and develop questions. And the most important thing to remember when coming up with questions is to try not to give them a yes or no question. Like, how was your day? Oh, it was good. Or, did you have breakfast this morning? Yes, I did. No, instead, say something like, tell me about your day. Or, how did that breakfast make you feel? You don't want them to just say yes or no. This leads to a conversation rather than an interview. You started comedy when you were 15. You actually dropped out of high school. What was that conversation like with your parents?
That didn't go well.
By the way, this information that we're talking about here is part of a limited live online course that I'm doing. It's starting in a few weeks. It's called the Talk Show Transformation, which is a 6 to 8 week course where I will teach you everything you need to know about starting your own talk show online. Now, space is limited, and it's a really unique opportunity because by signing up for this live course, you'll actually have lifetime access to all the other courses I'm doing, as well as direct access with me for as long as you need my help and guidance. I'm going to be with you the entire step of the way and beyond. This isn't a one and done thing. So click the link below for all the info, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, your questions. Write them down, but be prepared to not even use them. As we know, the conversation could go in a different direction. Part of your job is to memorize the questions. You should not have to look down at your notes while the guest is answering a question. It's super distracting to the guest, and it just looks like you're not listening and don't even care. Okay, so now let's talk about your body position. While it may seem uncomfortable, try not to slouch, okay? Be alert, upright. It goes such a long way. The same goes for your guest. And I know it depends on the chair situation. I've got this uncomfortable chair here, which I gotta, probably address at some point. But just give them a gentle reminder to, sit up and, be alert. Try and have both you and the guest in chairs that are flattering. Meaning you don't want a big, deep, plush couch where you both sink, way back in and your belly's hanging out. So get some good posture, both of you upright, and it looks really good, especially for your thumbnail. When you get a nice, great thumbnail and you're both up and you're both, really engaged and upright, it looks so good. One other important thing that nobody talks about, and that is you need to read the room. And what I mean by that is some guests are game for the things that are out of the realm of a normal interview/conversation, in a good way, a playful way. Others are not. Take cues from your guest. For example, we had a famous singer-songwriter, Gino Vanelli. He was on the show. And now I prepared some fun things to do with him, which I ran by him before him on the phone. He actually wanted to talk on the phone, which is interesting beforehand. Anyway, I was going to do like a bit on him, I don't know, with his hair, or, you know, I think we're going to do something from, you know, being from Canada or something, and some other things. But as the conversation unfolded, I could tell he was really serious about his craft and was not really going to react well to what we were going to do. So I just, in the moment, dropped it. Didn't even do it. I continued the conversation because the conversation itself was so rich with stories and life lessons that it didn't need any of the bits. Now, contrary to that, in a recent interview I did with actually another famous singer-songwriter, Sophie B. Hawkins, as the interview went along, it became glaringly obvious that she was game for anything, and I picked up on her cues and ran with it.
No, I don't dye my hair yet.
Neither do I. And people accuse me of Pete, do I?
Your hair is beautiful.
He knows.
Do you know, I actually, can I touch your hair?
Of course.
I say to my son, can I pay you to touch your hair? God, I'm like $10 for a touch. Yes. Oh, please.
Oh, let's see.
Does it feel good or not?
Of course. Part of your job also is to make the guest feel as relaxed and as welcome as possible. It's all about them. We're having just a fun conversation here. It's not about you. It's about that person you're interviewing them. They are number one. And they should really leave the interview feeling like really good about the time they had with you. So how do we do that? Well, it starts with you and your demeanor. Smile, have fun, listen, and be interested. Let them talk. Welcome them with a smile. You know, when they get on set, depending on your situation, welcome them with a big smile, a handshake, a hug, or whatever. Offer them, coffee or water or something, and just remind them that hey, we're just having a conversation here. No pressure. Unless you're doing a live stream, most of these interviews are recorded. So remind them of that you can edit, you can redo a question if you want, you can take out stuff afterwards that they aren't comfortable with. So I hope this was helpful in some way. Remember, if you're interested in starting your own talk show online, click the link in the description for the talk show transformation. Space is limited, and we get started in a few weeks. So hope to see you there. And as always, thanks for watching.